Welcome. You're listening to the Rutten River Pursuits podcast. Join our epic pro staff around the Sonic Campfire for stories and adventures from our eastern mountains to the Chesapeake Salt. Let our highs and lows inspire you to take to the outdoors.
I'm Uncle Buck, and you're listening to the Rutten River Pursuits podcast. Tonight's episode is brought to us by Captain Mark and Dust to Dawn Bow Fishing.
Are you looking for an awesome outdoor adventure this summer? Well, the ultimate bow fishing experience awaits. Go to dusttodawnbowfishing.com or call Captain Mark Spagnola at 717-324-1649 to reserve a spot on the boat. Captain Mark has something for all ages and skill levels, so be sure to go check him out.
Welcome, everybody. We have a great cast with us tonight. Who do we have around the table, guys?
I'm Lacey, Catfish's wife.
And Lady.
I'm Catfish.
I'm Ryan.
Sammy P.
I'm Steve.
I'm Will.
And we are Rutten River Pursuits. What's going on, guys?
What's going on?
Hey, guys, new stuff this week.
Lots of new stuff for me.
Let's hear it.
I caught my first fish from a kayak.
Did you really?
I did. And it's actually the first bass I caught when I intended to catch a bass.
Really?
Get you some.
Nice bass.
So you set out for bass.
Well, I set out for whatever was biting, but apparently the tackle I had on was bass tackle.
Gotcha.
So
Were you fishing topwater?
later in the evening, I did throw on some topwater, some whopper ploppers. I got to get into some of these crazy lures that you guys talk about all the time.
Yeah.
So learning a lot. But Uncle Catfish took me out on the water.
Yeah, buddy.
Took you under his wing.
Baptism.
That was
Pushed you down between two kayaks.
an epic night. Well, I had to pull him up actually next to one kayak.
What?
Well,
Here we go.
Did you take a swim?
What happened?
I told him I wasn't going to tell you guys about it, but I think we need to talk about it.
Please.
Motor safety is of the utmost importance.
Yeah.
I had my life jacket.
You did.
It was on the kayak.
And there was like 8-foot swells.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
There's white caps on the. Oh, wait.
I'm pretty sure a dolphin.
Wait a
knocked me
second.
out.
What, yeah.
You had
Freshwater dolphin.
two storms collided over Lake
Come to
Mead.
think of it, it was about smooth as glass out there, but somehow he ended up in the water.
My contact was falling out. I don't know what to
Well, so you're on the Andrea Gale,
Yeah.
and it's perfect, like a rogue wave.
It was rough.
Gotcha.
It did. It was glass. I could literally see a non-distorted figure in the water, which was my reflection. Yeah, it was that nice out.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, I was walking around on a kayak, turning around, casting, doing stuff, and
He told me he was going to start fishing topwater.
Right.
So when I heard this splash, I was like, what the heck kind of lure is he throwing?
Big
And I
frog.
turned around, and here he comes up out of the water. He's putting his hat on as he's coming out of the water with one hand, and in the other hand, he's got his oar, or his paddle, rather. But he's got his paddle and his fishing rod. And he just looks over at me, he's like, I didn't drop nothing.
There you go.
It was like, nice. Really what he was doing, because it was my first time on like larger open water in a kayak. He was just, showing me all of the different aspects of kayak fishing.
Right.
had to get back in properly.
Right.
Yeah.
We needed to demonstrate that, and I appreciate it.
That was my sole purpose. You're right.
So thank you. Thank you very much.
I took a step back, and there wasn't no more kayak.
There's no better instructor. Or just, that's awesome.
It has been many years of fishing, and that's I've got off them intentionally, but I don't believe standing up on one I can't recall ever falling off one. I mean, I flipped a canoe one time in April, but that's a canoe.
Yeah.
And I had a stupid redneck friend in college that flipped it for me. It wasn't my fault, and that was cold.
Right.
But the water was pretty chilly the other night. Yeah, it was. We had a good night though. I mean, we fished afterwards for a while, and
I was going to say, it's not warm out right now. Water temps have got to be
It was down there in 50s, upper 40s, lower 50s.
Yeah, it was cold.
Yeah.
So I know when I was paddling a little bit, there were some drips that were hitting my leg. They weren't quite getting caught by that drip ring on the paddle.
Yeah.
I didn't want to complain about how it was kind of chilly. I felt bad if I
Bless your heart, Ryan. Jeez.
I toughed it out.
Yeah, did you?
Holding back.
The heavy pants on and hunting socks. And, and sitting there going, man, once your shirt's wet and it sticks to you for a while,
Yeah.
and then you get a little chilly.
Did you have your deeper jersey on?
I didn't. No, I had a Rutten River shirt on.
So it wasn't performance, definitely not performance wear.
No, it was wet. Yeah, it was
There
wet.
was nothing quick dry about that outfit.
But I'm glad we stayed out because we caught some nice bass after that.
Yeah, he did.
We saw pictures. We did see that.
That was one of the other things he said as he came out of the water. He's like, "This lake owes me one now," and he caught her.
Really?
That was a lunker.
I was just going to say, I mean, I didn't at the time appreciate any kind of extra wetness from you with the pictures. The fish, though, were pretty fantastic.
Yeah, we caught a 21.5 inch. It was a heavy girl. She smacked a whopper plopper. It's like third cast, moving across the ridge, like the underwater rock ridge there, outside the Blue House. Almost back by where we caught that walleye when your mom was on the pontoon boat with us, back in that area. And
Gotcha.
Just he come out of the water just like it looked like
a gator.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's so cool.
On an antelope.
The whopper ploppers going plop, 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 boom. I mean, it was like an explosion. And I went, and for a second, I didn't know if she was there. And then I felt the rod go over, and I was yelling over to Ryan. I was like, "This is a good one. This is a good one right here." It wasn't a hip fish, but it was a pull a kayak around a little bit fish. It was fun.
Yeah, he fought her for a little while, and I do distinctly remember you were yelling, "First one on the whopper plopper."
Yeah.
I thought maybe like your battery went dead on your phone when you're with using the sonar, so you just dove in to see where the fish were.
Sometimes. No, having the chain wallet on was not a good idea. Luckily, my phone wasn't on me because that's lake.
That's going to be a first.
Yeah, the lake's eating 3 of my phones, so that'll have been a fourth. And but yeah, falling in with I come up out of the water, tried to steal my hat. My sunglasses were gone. I felt them rolling down my chest, and I knew I didn't want to lose my R2 hat. My hunting license and my fishing license was on it, so I grabbed it, put it on. Wasn't going to drop my rod. Looked over. As it come to the surface, I aspirated some water, and the paddle was floating beside me, so I have to grab the paddle because if you get back in the kayak and you're cold, there's no way to get back in. And treading water with my short legs ain't that easy when you don't have no arms. Yeah, it was an adventure.
Is that also what's new for you? You got anything else?
I drank some really, really good dark beer this week.
Did you really?
I did. I went to this place. Actually, it was a really awesome bar. It looks very industrial.
It was a brewery.
It was a brewery, yeah. I said tavern earlier, now I called it a bar. So it was a brewery.
Yeah.
And I saw all the big stainless steel kettles where they brew inside the building.
Yep.
But we walked in, and Lacey said, "Oh, this place is awesome. It's so industrial looking, like corrugated metal and old barnwood, the different kinds of concrete and bricks, and it's a cool place." So we walked into the Tattered Flag.
Yeah.
In Hummelstown.
Yep,
Middletown. Down by the river.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I had some friends there that made the Tattered Fowl IPA.
Yeah, black IPA.
It was awesome.
Who made that?
Well,
you wouldn't know. No, he's not real well known around these like at the podcast.
that guy's. I thought he was too busy editing for podcasts.
He has a lot of different things going on at once. A lot.
Oh,
yeah,
lots of things.
Actually, it was Will's award-winning new beer with him and his friends, and they now the brewery's got it on tap at this this awesome place.
Well, it was just a brew your own opportunity, and we got to scale up a recipe. It was very fun.
This is Waterfowl Brewing.
Yeah, it was a true collaboration between, we have our own recipe. They have their recipe for black IPA. We kind of put them together, and
well, I tell you what,
came this hot monster.
It was hoppy. It was
past our group that was having fun, like in the back, like we were having our own little party. when I walked up to get another beer, I actually heard people that weren't with us, total strangers, at the bar, overheard them talking about how much they loved that beer. And it made me smile going,
that's cool.
Right on, man. Yeah, it was awesome.
That's cool. I missed it because I was actually podcasting with the Bruin View.
Yeah.
I heard a little bit of that was going on. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I almost didn't recognize Brad when I saw him at the Bruin View podcast there with Will. He is a baby face.
Yeah, cleanly shaven fella.
It was awkward. I was staring at it like,
His beard was it was coming along so nice.
Oh, he has a chin. Look at him.
that's cute.
Stop shaving it.
What's a chin?
No, that's all new for me. Good beer, good fishing, good friendship, some kayak adventures. I went for my first swim this year, so that was fun.
Yeah.
But, one last thing. I have actually lost a little sleep this week. I wasn't on the podcast last week, had that function down in Gettysburg, so this week actually has had... Like, I've literally laid in bed and thought about that one that got away. So, that big striper.
Oh, yeah.
It just bugs me to know that he was 3 feet, 2.5 feet, 2 feet from my reach.
Stevie would have brought
we kind of heard about
Did I tell you guys about that?
Yeah,
I told you that story. I can.
I'm glad I wasn't here. It would have been a 50-minute podcast.
You could tell us that story after Ryan tells us about his buck he got last.
Yeah, I did get a buck this year, guys.
Did you?
Yeah, I'll tell you sometime about it.
Although there was one, if I would have edited that, there was one stipulation to that story that I think that Steve left out. I remember in a part of it when we were walking down and guys were talking to Steve, and we were walking down to the pier, and you said, "What'd Catfish say?" What did I say when we were walking out to the pier?
You said you heard guys saying, "Oh crap, Rutten River Pursuits is here."
Yeah, no. I told Stevie, these guys are all coming out. Oh, you remember like on Point Break, it's death on a stick out there, man.
Yeah.
And it was, they're like, there's nothing biting, don't even go out. And I was like, let's show them how Rutten River does it. And it was just stupid that we went out and crushed it, and the whole pier was like, who are these guys? They got matching shirts.
It's that bowling team again.
Must have been.
There ain't many fish out there that can put a strain on a 12-foot rod that makes it creak like an old board. It was good fish.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Oh my gosh.
I was happy to see her go, but I would have loved to pick her up one time.
Yeah. Who else?
I got a couple of quickies. First, I was got out with the bow this week. It's nice weather. Got out to get some practice in.
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw those groups were tightening up.
They're
good.
Starting to get a little bit better. Kisser Button has definitely upped that ability. So, keep on hitting it.
Yep, keep practicing. You're doing good.
That's cool.
So,
Flinging arrows.
Then one other thing, the R2, the cast of R2 owes General Sammy P. an apology.
Oh yeah. We went back and played the tape.
We played the tape.
It was Kyle who asked the first, "What Keller?"
What's your favorite Keller?
Was it?
Yes, it was.
I thought it might have been Sammy re-asking his own question.
Wouldn't that have just been perfect though if he did?
It would have been comedic gold.
I remember hearing the color thing. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's the magic of rewind.
Yeah.
So, Sammy,
I don't care.
we apologize.
Yeah.
For accusing you
Deep
of
it
asking.
from the bottom of our
I
heart.
thought you guys were saying, well, what I thought would actually happen. That Kyle said it, but I didn't hear anybody.
You didn't hear
I didn't
the answer.
remember somebody saying it. That's why when you said, "Oh, you said it," it's like I didn't get it. It's like, no, I didn't. I only said it one time.
Phil, for those that didn't hear last week's episode, what is your favorite color?
It is,
Yeah, what is it?
It's green, and
Okay.
and I prefer women.
Those are the highlights.
Those are the highlights.
In that order.
I believe he said it. I believe he said all of them at first.
That was food.
That was food. Gotcha.
And I like Ronald Reagan.
Oh my goodness.
Just don't get him started on Ronald Reagan. I do appreciate the man as well, but man, it was Phil's episode, but we got into the history of Ronald Reagan.
Oh, that happens a lot here, I'm sure.
Jack Farr.
Sammy, didn't you Done you got some long range steel lately?
Hopefully this weekend I'm going to shoot. Made a target for my shoot 500 to 1,000, and I have smaller targets for 2, 3, and 4.
Hanging steel plates.
Yeah,
Nice.
so I'm ready.
He's filming for the movie Shooter 2.
Shooter too.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, Kate Mira's in there. I'll be over to watch that.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
back.
she's
I said that just for Ryan.
She's the shooter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's cool. Super cool.
I got a 1,000-yard pin on my bow. I'm coming over.
I bet you it's almost straight up in the air.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. So
let's take a break. When we come back, we've got Lacey Fry.
Do you have honeydews that remain honeydon'ts? Are you tired of the lack of craftsmanship with these over-marketed service companies? Do you want a local tradesman here in the South Central Pennsylvania area with a personal touch you can trust? Then contact Brad Schambach at Schambach Carpentry for all your home improvement needs. Brad has been in business for over 15 years and does it all from hanging new doors to high-end custom cabinets. Schambach Carpentry will be sure to give your home the attention it needs. So start turning those honeydon'ts into honeydews by contacting Brad at schambachcarpentry@gmail.com. SHAMBACH carpentry@gmail.com. And we're back. How's it going, guys?
hey, Uncle Buck. We got a good show, don't we?
Yes, we have a very special guest with us tonight, Miss Lacey Fry.
What?
Hey, Lacey.
Otherwise known as Mrs. Catfish.
Mrs. Catfish. Small fry.
Yeah, how you doing?
Small fry.
Only in stature.
That's gonna stick.
That's a good one.
All right, small fry. Let's do this.
All right.
Yeah, what's up?
Let's talk turkey.
Let's talk a little turkey.
I'm stoked. I mean, it's like 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
It's 2 days out for me. I'm taking the boy out Saturday morning.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try. We'll see how that goes.
Get you some turkeys.
I'm actually looking forward to tonight's podcast because I need a couple of tips and tricks
There
and
you
stuff
go.
from Little Fry over here.
Yeah,
She's going
Small
to tell
Fry.
me how to do it right, or Small Fry.
Right.
I've been told she's the R2 expert.
That's what I'm hoping for. I need
she's-
some advice.
Killed more, like, I would. Is it safe to say, like, I mean,
She's killed more turkeys than everybody sitting at the table combined.
combined?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of, thinking is combined, like, too much, but no.
No.
She's definitely easily. She's in double digits.
Oh, absolutely.
When I went over, like you said, Will, there's a flock of turkeys in their living room.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, in her living room from the taxidermy. Yeah. I thought you meant like an actual flock.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's impressive.
She's a turkey whisperer.
Cheater.
Big living room.
We
That's how
tied
she
them up
gets
for
them
the
all.
first day.
That's right. It's our
How do you
first
feed
day
'em?
birds.
Now, does mine count if I shot them out of a pen?
Well, yeah. No, that totally counts, Sammy. Good job, buddy.
Thanks, Steve.
So before we get into the turkey talk, Lacey, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right. I am originally from Hagerstown, Maryland. Born and raised there.
Hagersippy.
Hagersippy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good old Hagerbush is what we refer to it as. Graduated high school in 2003. Met Shane in college in 2005. I know. Who's that person?
Oh, man.
And then we moved to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and we've lived at Lake Mead for the last 10 years.
So you don't refer to him as Uncle Catfish?
No, I do not refer him as Uncle Catfish. I kind of hoped when I first met him he was Catfish, and then it kind of died out for a while, and I kind of was like, yes. And then it came back.
Have you ever called him Catfish?
No.
Never.
Never.
How did I introduce myself to your mom when I first met you?
As Catfish.
Yeah.
And I said,
Hold
that
these
biker
boots.
dude-
I'm about to jump in the fountain.
Hold my beer.
Yeah.
Did you call her mom right away?
Probably. I don't remember.
Miss Bridget.
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome.
Well, have you been hunting all your life, or when did you get your start really with the turkey hunting thing?
No, actually, growing up in Hagerbush, it's very much city. There is no one I knew that hunted. My father is not an outdoors person at all. I mean, he does blacktop, but that's as much outdoors as he does. So I was actually anti-hunter when I met Shane.
Really?
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Not that, I thought anything was wrong with it, but like I was never thought of myself as going out and shooting a bunch of animals. That was nothing. I didn't like to go out and get dirty and get my hands dirty when I first met Shane.
So wait, how long have you two been together?
14 years now.
So you've really only been hunting for that amount of time, and you've already killed more turkeys.
I started
than
hunting
all of us
in
combined.
2009.
Nah.
Is when he converted me.
Wow.
I converted her.
He did.
Wow. Was that a tough conversion?
Yeah, was that the first chick you converted?
It wasn't. Here's the thing.
I didn't want to shoot anything cute.
No, but
Well, it's a good thing you went with turkeys then.
Yeah, that's why we went
ugly.
with the turkeys. Yeah,
it had its rough moments in our early relationship. So I think the best way to answer that is if you want to come see me, the best way to do it is to come with me.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you're not out and about doing creepy, weird,
No, I'm in the woods.
You're in the woods.
Yeah. And so whenever Lacey decided to start hunting turkeys, she not only took to hunting especially fast, but turkey hunting especially fast. Like turkey hunting, she excelled at very quickly. Wow. To the point where she's surpassed what I can do. And so, once she got in the woods, like any other young person that you start taking hunting, or any other person that you take hunting later in life, like Phil, if you have some success and some really good moments at it, that you're hooked. She was addicted. Yeah. So, the outdoors now runs in her blood too. So
that's incredible. You can go from.
Is that true, Lace?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah. And now I am a hunter, and I look back, I really wish I had that experience with my dad or my grandfather. That would have been a really cool connection. But
yeah, you should, every time you shoot a turkey, you should be like, "No thanks to you, Dad."
Yeah,
I got this too.
Yeah, and he's very impressed. He watches me shoot my bow and all, and he can't believe I go out there and turkey hunt. And he's always excited to know when turkey season is, and are we going to have turkey dinner anytime soon?
That's great. And the flip side of it, as probably makes sense, 2 and 2 put together, you are a phenomenal wild game cook.
Thank you.
So
your motivation, what was your motivation for starting turkey hunting? Was it to get closer to catfish? Or
yeah, just to spend more, he's always out and about doing something in the woods or fishing. So if you want to spend time with your husband, you have to do something, and I don't think I'm going to convince him to go shopping with me. So
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I went to New York once. It wasn't fun.
Yeah,
Right.
So in the woods it was, and like I said, I didn't want to shoot anything cute, so deer was totally not in the option. So he started me off small. We tried pheasant hunting first.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this isn't bad. And then we progressed into, I was the one that actually pushed into turkey hunting. I wanted to learn everything I could, so I read tons and tons of books about it, learning what to do, how to do it, what calls to do. So
turkey hunting's a lot, it's the language of love, You're trying to
you have that interaction with the turkeys, and it's a very, I don't know, to me, turkey hunting is much more exciting than deer hunting. I do deer hunt now, and it's boring to me. You're just sitting there. I'd much rather be interacting with that turkey, calling, having them call back.
Yeah. So, when you get a big tom to come in to you, and you end up shooting him, and you're like, did you ever say to yourself, yep, so got it? Because it's a bird. I mean.
No.
Do you ever pump your arm in the face?
Maybe not the arm pump, but definitely a lot of jumping up and down, excited.
Oh yeah, she has a pretty extensive celebration dance.
Yeah.
But you had to talk pretty sweet to get that bird to come in,
Absolutely, and that's turkey hunting is a lot about knowing when to call, when not to call, when to call softly, when to call loudly, aggressive, not aggressive. You gotta listen to them and listen to what they're saying and try to talk back as best you can to them and hopefully entice them.
And I'm an extremely proud husband as far as when we go hunting now, I don't even call.
Yeah.
I don't have to. I don't pick our spots. I don't have to. I don't do most of the scouting anymore. I don't have to. I've met a lot of people in life like myself that learn from mistakes, which everybody does.
Yeah.
But that's the only way I learn, because I don't read. I don't watch TV. I do take advice from other people and try it. If it works, it was good advice. If not, I don't use it.
Right.
She accelerates at learning anything that she puts her mind to, and turkey hunting was like that thing. Like, there's not enough literature, there's not enough stuff out there to learn from.
Chicks are smart.
Yeah.
So Lacey, you're doing the scouting, you're picking the spots, you're doing the calling, you're doing all that now.
I do it all.
Are you busy Saturday morning?
No,
I'm just curious.
Taking my turkey guide from me.
Yes, I am. You're not under 16. It's the youth day.
Heck, Lacey looks so young, she could probably whack one and be with.
Isn't that funny? You just said that.
I had a experience like that when one of the very first times I went to the outdoor show. We were walking around one of the halls, and this guy came up to me, and he grabbed me by the arm, and he's like, "Hey," he's like, "you're just what we're looking for. Would you be interested in doing a youth turkey hunt and blah, blah, this and that?" And I was like...
Turns around and looks at me, and he like, looks at her, and he says, "If it's okay with your dad."
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
And I was like, sure. What? Yeah.
Oh,
you
boy.
do know I'm like 25, right? So what do you consider youth?
He was shocked.
Yeah.
I was a little more shocked. I felt bad, and I went home and like dyed my beard
Again.
Yeah, that happened.
It's not a bad thing to have a wife that looks 25 years younger than you, but, except for those moments when people look at you and go, "Look at that guy.
Must have a lot of money."
That guy must have a lot of money.
So I have a question for you. Going into hunting, coming into hunting, do you feel like having a guy like Uncle Catfish, was there more pressure, or was it like just a complete like leg up total asset?
I would say the total asset. Like he taught me a lot. Like, I was a complete novice to hunting. I knew nothing. So he, was very good about teaching me the woodsmanship part of it. Because that's a big part of turkey hunting too. You got to find out where the turkeys are, where they go during the day, what they're looking for when they do go out. Are they looking for the hens to breed with? Are they looking for water? Are they looking for food? And, just trying to like pattern them. He taught me how to look for signs of turkey, the turkey tracks, turkey droppings, scratching. So, and just a wealth of information. The very first day we ever went turkey hunting, we got up and, the nerves were in the stomach. And I was like, oh, my gosh, we're going to have to go to, like, Sheets before we go over to these game lands. And we got out of the truck, and he's like, "This is all on you. What do you want to do today?" And I'm like, "Well, I want to go this way." And we go through the field, and I'm like, "I want you to do a crow call right now." And he did, and sure enough, a turkey gobbled. And I'm like, "It came from the left. Let's go up that way." And we go up about 200 yards, and I'm like, "Yeah, this looks good. Let's sit here." And, a couple minutes later, he starts calling on his aluminum friction call. And sure enough, this turkey starts to come into us. And I'm thinking to myself, people said this hunting thing was really hard. Like, we're going to get a bird. We've only been out for 5 minutes. This is pretty sweet. And so he's a lot taller than I am, obviously. And he saw the bird come up over the little hill.
Oh, it was a nice one.
Yeah.
I never saw it. I was short and for whatever reason, the bird decided he didn't like what he saw, and around he went. And needless to say, it was not a short 5-minute turkey hunt like we thought it would be. But from that point on, I was just addicted.
It was 70 yards, maybe 60. and it was repeatedly screaming in our face. It was just gobbling off its head. And it was just over, the field went down and dropped off just a little bit where I was sitting behind her. I could see him from about the breast up, poking his head up, looking into the field. And his big issue hanging up and leaving was there was no decoy in the field. There was nothing for him to see. He knew something was up, and he split. But by the time we got there, and I rang out the next call to see where he was, and we got a lot closer than I anticipated. So we had no time to put the decoy out. It was sitting beside me. Like, he was on top of us at 70 yards when we heard him again. But, yeah, those types of things make you addicted right away.
Yeah. So what was it about it? You had said you got out of the truck and you said, let's go left. What led you to make those decisions the first time? Like, that's impressive. Like,
when I touch you on the shoulder,
you just have a feeling. Like, I don't know, I just get these gut feelings. Like, usually in the morning when I get up, like, I'll have a feeling like today's going to be a day we're going to have a good hunt, but we're not going to see a bird, we're not going to get a bird, or today's the day we're killing a bird. Like, I don't know, I just get these weird, like, gut feelings.
But that must come from...
That's me touching you on the shoulder.
Can you just call me in the morning and let me know? I'll take a call at 4:30. Then I'll sleep until 8.
Right.
And here's the greatest thing about any new sportsman. It's very intimidating, whether it be a girl or a guy that hasn't hunted, or a young kid. If you don't allow them to make decisions right off the bat, even if you know they're wrong, then that morning was just magical because everything worked out, except for putting the bird down.
Right.
But the hunt is what it needed to be. Had she killed that bird 5 minutes into the day, and I mean, it was a bird, it was a big tom,
I would have been spoiled.
It was over. I mean, actually, if we would have killed that tom that morning, hunting after that would have maybe sucked for her because we've worked so hard for other birds that's exactly the push she needed. That's what she needed to get her addicted.
Wow.
So it was a blessing we didn't get it.
Yeah.
And that was your first hunt?
That was my very first experience ever out hunting.
So what happened after that? So you saw the bird at 70 yards, and then he took off, that was it.
That was it.
That was the day.
And then from there, you just went like, every bird must die.
Exactly. Yeah. all of them. Gotta go. Actually, that was on state game lands, and we went back a few days later and tried again, and we actually were successful the second day back. So I'll let Shane tell that story because that was crazy. We chased that bird for hours all over those game lands. I don't know how much ground we covered, but we did get him in the end.
Was it the same one you saw a couple days before?
Checkmate.
No.
You don't think? In my mind, it's the same bird.
Yeah.
Checkmate.
It was the same bird. She said it was the same. It was definitely the same bird.
I got him. Like, yes.
No, we jumped out. I mean, it's tough. It's tough taking any new person out, especially somebody that you love and you want them to be addicted to it. And so we pushed pretty hard that year. And this bird, gunning on game lands ain't smart. And we got in early that morning and we heard a bird in the distance and did exactly what we were supposed to do. Unfortunately, he had a hen with him, and he had another male with him. So they went in the opposite direction of us. So we went after him and tried to get in front of him. So we did probably a quarter-mile circle around 5 fields to get in front of him. And when he got to us, they turned again and went up into a thicket woods part. So we did the same thing, circled many fields to get out around him again, and we dropped down into the woods this time. Actually, Will hunted with me in this spot. I actually has a rock wall in the woods that we put in and I took him there. It's a beautiful spot. So we set up on this place and called, and they were coming. And they were coming and gobbling. I mean, gobbling their heads off. And so we set up on one of the biggest trees we could find. And so they didn't see me. I threw the decoy up. And I sat on the opposite side of the tree of her so I could call. And they were coming straight at her. And they went silent. This morning was crisp. It was very quiet. And I could hear this thing circling us. You could hear his big feet in the leaves. Wow. That's how close he was. But you couldn't see him. It was so thick. And all of a sudden, within 10, 15 yards of me, I saw his feet. He was on the wrong side of the tree. She was straight behind me on the big tree where like 5 of us couldn't put our hands around it, our arms around it, this massive tree. So she's sitting there, and it came on, circled us the wrong side. Saw the decoy and didn't like it, was circling the decoy. And it actually came for me to buck. I mean, I could have spit on it. And I got so wound up inside because I didn't want to blow her hunt that I had to close my eyes. We've talked about this before. I had to close my eyes because I thought it was gobbling in my face at 5'10", like 5-8 feet.
What does that do? I mean,
on the other side of the tree, she had to be dying. I know.
I know what that does to me, and I've heard it, a handful of times, and every time I just get.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Oh, I get nuts.
At 8 feet, it's loud.
It's just awesome. I don't know. It just like your whole body just starts to shake, and your heart's going, and you're like, all right, I don't know what's faster, the heart going or the turkey drumming.
Some people jump out of planes. Some people inject for it. Like they said on Point Blank.
That heart gets going.
High. Yeah.
Like when Bugs Bunny sees the hot
and it's
female
like
bugs.
If that ever stops happening, I'll stop turkey hunting because that's the excitement. Like that is the rush you live for. And even after I pull that trigger, like I still am shaking for like a good half hour.
You shaking in the truck on the way home still? It's great.
Yeah. I just get so jacked up about it.
But I mean, just having that turkey that close, that loud. I mean, that's crazy.
In your face.
It doesn't. They don't do that.
What would make
really want to?
You have to be sitting very still for them to get that close. Because turkeys have immaculate vision. They can see you like blink from like.
Thank God I had a 3D suit on.
Yeah.
Because I thought it would see my heart pumping out of my chest.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I didn't want to blow this hunt for it. Yeah. But we didn't. And it went out the same way it came in. It didn't like the decoy. And we let it get off 100 so yards through the thicket.
You look like a man bush.
Yeah, it did. Gotcha. Man bush. So I get up quietly and I get her from around a tree and she's shaking. Like she's literally like gun shaking. I'm like, calm down. Obviously, decoy's not working. Let's ditch it. We left it there. And
so you didn't have to call him, and he came.
Oh no, I was calling.
You were calling at the same time.
We called him in. Unfortunately, like he said, she couldn't turn. She'd have got busted if she blinked. So she couldn't. He was well within shotgun range of a BB gun, but she couldn't get the shot.
Were you gobbling at the time?
That was just purring at him.
Right.
Yep, yelping and purring at him. And so he left. Here there was 2 of them because when he left, now we heard 2 gobbling together. Like they must have met up after this. So these 2 gobblers now are 100 so yards from us. And so we get up and we do another long spout of running around trying to get in front of them again through the woods. Come on, follow me. I know where I'm going. Through the jaggers. And she worked really, really hard. Through creeks, through thickets. We got back in front of them. We set up in another place because the last time I heard them gobble, we actually got out Google Maps and looked at the aerial map and saw that the 2 hillsides came down into a point down through a creek bed, and we got down the creek bed and cut them off, knowing that would be the only way they would come through there. And it worked out just like we thought. So we actually were standing up on a big rock to see over these ferns and thickets when I put my arm back, I put my arm around her and said, stop, what is that? What is it? And here they come in quiet. We actually cut them off almost too close. And so it's like 15, 20 minutes went by. They were gobbling 20 yards in front of us, 25, but there was no shot in the thicket. You can just see their legs. So we're standing up, and she's got the gun up on my shoulder, and I'm kneeling down, and I'm in this weird position on this rock that's off, like we're off balance, and it just felt like forever and ever, especially to me with my back, like forever, until one finally showed its head. And she shot, and she was like, holy, I got it. And
potty mouth.
Yeah, it flipped and flopped. And honestly, as a sportsman, it was probably my most glorious day. I never had a son, so it was my most glorious day in the woods. Cool. The euphoric happiness that I felt was more than pictures or words can describe. I was very happy.
Awesome.
Like I can still feel that moment, and we just sitting in the woods with that bird on that rock together and sharing in the sun afternoon. It was glorious.
Yep.
So this was
glorious word, by the way. I'm going to use it.
That was your second day in the woods, then, right? Your second day
the second
turkey
hunt.
hunting?
Like, I don't know if it was consecutive days or whatever, but yeah. And I remember how proud I was to take that turkey to the taxidermist. Now it wasn't a big gobbler by any stance. It had like a
like a
4-inch,
4 or 5 inch beard on it. Yeah.
you know. But to me, that was like the king of all turkeys.
It was really cool though, because the whole length of his wings, if you look at the mount at the house, it was like the golden unicorn, because his wings were like white from there down. Like he had like a grayish color. Yeah. They didn't have the real brown tips to them. Yeah.
And it's funny because a few days later, we actually went hunting on private property, and Shane and I both got birds the same exact day within hours apart. He got his in the morning. We took his to the same taxidermist, came back, did an afternoon hunt. It was later in the season, I guess, for us to do the afternoon hunt. Mm-hmm. And I ended up getting the biggest bird I ever shot that day. And Shane's like, well, what do you do now? Do you want to take this bird to the taxidermy, tell him forget about the other one? And I was like, nope. I was like, that was the first one I got. That's the one that's getting mounted. I don't care how small his beard is compared to this one. That's the one I went on the wall. We worked really hard for that.
We got the 5-inch bearded mounted instead of the 13-inch bearded mounted. 12 and 3/4. Wow. Massive bird.
Lacey said it, though. I mean, she's going to remember that 5-inch bird hunt.
Yeah.
So it means so much more to us.
It's the best bird we've ever got to this date. Yep.
Absolutely. One of my I love hunting on state game lands. Like, I just find it to be more of a challenge.
Oh, it's a challenge, all right.
Definitely running and gunning is not smart. I don't like to use decoys at all on state game lands. We've been hunting before. We've had our decoys set up. People pop up just after daylight, try to shoot your decoys. Like, they're just not good. I don't usually use decoys at all when I'm on game land.
So when you're hunting public land, you're just sitting there, no decoys, calling,
exactly,
and waiting for something to come in.
Exactly. And you try to, like, you know, a lot of people like to sit on the field. Well, if you don't have a decoy, you want to kind of sit back, like maybe on the logging road or in the thicket a little bit, so that turkey can't see a direct path to you. He's going to come looking for that hen that you're supposed to be. So, but just for safety reasons, I prefer not to use decoys on the game lands. Now, if it's private land, absolutely, why not? We got a really nice decoy. The taxidermist made us. It's a small half-strutting jake. That thing calls him in. We had a very successful hunt with him this past spring season, 2016, on a farm that we picked up close to Lake Mead.
I like that thing because, you know, when you don't kill one at the end of the hunt, you still feel like when you pack it up, you feel like you got it.
Yeah.
Or at least the other guys think you got one.
Exactly.
Will's always taking his picture with the same turkey.
Right. So what do we call that
consistent.
thing? I think I named him Pete or Petey something. Petey, our decoy. Well, Petey, our decoy, we took him out the first time on this farm, and we got this farm. I actually met this sweet little farmer at the hospital and convinced him to let me turkey hunt on his property.
Score.
How can you say no?
Exactly. I can put on the charm when I want to.
What? You got a farm?
Yeah. Do you have turkeys on that farm? You do. Do you have hunters? Oh, you don't say. Could we hunt? Oh, yeah. So he didn't think we would actually get anything. Well, we proved him wrong. Old Pete did the job. We got there. We weren't even done getting everything out of the truck, and they're gobbling their heads off, and we're like, oh my gosh. I'm like, get in the blind, they're coming. And poor Petey, he got some shot to the
Lacey shot my decoy in the head.
Hey, I can't help that the turkey was behind him. He had to take one for the team.
Thanks, Petey.
That's right.
My taxidermy decoy got shot. He's got and it's a perfect hole right through his head. And so I will not tell it yet.
You've spent some time out turkey hunting.
Oh, yeah.
And listen, she's not always hunted with me.
Nope.
She's very successful when I'm at work, which is very, very, very amazing to me. I feel very proud and boastful.
Yeah.
But I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
While she's out hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got a nice fall bird by myself a few years back.
And that's tough to do in Pennsylvania. There's not really a way to pattern fall birds where we hunt.
No. Fall turkey hunting is very different than spring turkey hunting. I actually kind of... I really have a soft spot for the fall hunting because there aren't nearly as many people out in the fall, so you have the woods to yourself. Mm-hmm. It's a lot more relaxed. And it's weird, like their patterns are so much different in the fall than the spring. Like the fall where I was hunting, there was big flocks of turkeys. I had like 30 plus turkeys come in.
Whoa.
you don't see that in the spring, at least not where we hunt. So it's just pretty cool. And
Now, do you call them in like you would in the spring, or is
Not
it
so much.
not so much. In the fall, when I got there, it's an all-day hunt. You can hunt all day in the fall. And our particular WMU, it's 3 days that you can hunt. And I got there in the morning. I set up. Again, no decoy. And at dawn, I did like a fly down cackle, some soft yelps, completely shut everything down for a couple hours, just sat there in the quiet. And then right around probably 10 o'clock-ish, I heard something kind of rustling behind me in the thicket. I turn real slowly, look over. Sure enough, here comes turkeys down the logging road. And first there was like 5 of them. Well, they just started coming more and more of them out of the thicket. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never seen this amount of turkey in my life. So I knew they were going to go down the logging road through a thicket and then come out pretty much right in front of the blind I was in. And I had the 17 Agent Mar.
I mean to stop you, but here's how we know that. We have a system that we've worked out of using the demographics, the tomography of the land to our advantage. We use a funnel system where, almost like a deer escape route. Like if you study where the deer are running to all the time when they're jumped, then you know where to get in front of them. And we do that a lot with turkeys. When we see turkeys, where I hunt is a lot of valleys and a lot of hills and a lot of cuts, and they seem to like to funnel. They always seem to like to pinch point into certain areas, so we use that to our advantage, and that's where our blinds are. So it's just a strategy that we've, after spending enough time in the woods, we've kind of noticed that if you look and the turkey's headed in a certain direction, you can almost guess. Now, out west, I don't know how they do that, where it's flat, but yeah. Anyhow. So she was saying she knew they were going to come out on this logging road. It's because it pinch pointed there. Yeah. The 2 hillsides came down onto the logging road where it crossed over and then like pinch point more to where it opened up. So you can almost guess where they're going to come down, or else they'd have to be climbing up rocks and
path of least resistance.
Right, exactly.
And I just did. I had a push button call, just a couple real faint yelps, and sure enough, they come right out, and you had your pick of anyone you wanted to shoot. So just pull the HMR up and take one.
Yahtzee.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was so proud because that was the first time I hunted really by myself, like completely alone. Like a lot of times we'll hunt, but we'll be on opposite sides of a property or something like that. But it was completely 100% by myself that day. Yeah. Like I picked the spot, I did the calling, cool. I took the shot.
Yeah, she was so ninja-fied about it. Like I got off work and went up, and I was going to go archery hunting because it overlapped with archery season. And so I snuck down to check on her in the blind. Her first day out by herself, I was worried all day. So I snuck in the blind real quiet and sat down beside her, and nothing, I was just looking around. It's like quiet silence for a little bit. I'm like, so did you see anything? She's like, yeah. Well, what'd you see? I saw some turkeys. What? And some deer. Oh, well, what happened? Did you get a shot? Yeah. What happened? Did you miss? She's like, no. And she reaches over the blind, pulls up this big turkey, and starts jumping up and down. Like, you got me so good sitting here so quiet.
Cool. That's cool.
She's got a crazy poker face.
She does. It was good.
Yeah.
Now, you're sitting out in the woods doing this. I'm sure you're seeing more than just turkey.
Oh my gosh, the stuff you see in the woods is fascinating.
Please do me a favor. Tell them briefly about what do you call the deer?
Oh, the deer on this private tract of land where we hunt, they're like this with the turkeys. They're like buddy. It's like the deer mafia for the turkeys, like or something.
Allies, yeah.
I was doing a late season afternoon hunt after work one day, and I'd been working this bird for a couple hours now, and he went quiet, so I went quiet. 90% of the time they go quiet. They're still interested in you. They're probably circling around and going to come in from behind you. That's what it did. It came in directly behind me. So out of peripheral vision, I can see it coming down the ridge. I'm like, yes. And I'm like looking, I'm like, what is that? Well, here, this turkey had aligned itself perfectly behind this deer. And I'll be darned if they didn't walk side by side the whole way out that ridge, parallel. So to shoot the turkey, you would have had to shoot the deer. I'm pretty sure the Game Commission wouldn't like that
they would
story
frown
too much.
upon
Yeah,
it.
that'd be a no.
Yeah, it's in my way.
And I'm like, are you kidding me?
He's
I'm
headed
like,
right for us.
yeah, I'm like, I was so jacked. Like when we got back to the truck that night, I'm like, do you know what these turkeys did? They're
back to the
talking.
truck the
They're
whole way
talking
home.
amongst each other. They're like, we know she's there.
And it's
Get
not-
our dear friends down here for
She
protection.
was like, it
Our
was step
dear
for
friends.
step.
It's
Yeah.
not like you can say, "Hey, dear,
Yeah.
move."
yeah. And it's like, you gotta be kidding me.
Mhm, what the hang?
Yeah, what the hang? Absolutely. So that was one crazy, like, mind blown. I can't tell you how many times in turkey season I've had deer come up. I like to snack when I hunt, so one of my favorite snacks is Cheez-Its. Sitting there, eat my Cheez-Its. I had this deer come up. It was like a spike buck type deer, young one. And he's like, I could reach out and touch his nose with the end of my boot. That's how close it got to me. I'm like, why don't you get this close in deer season?
yeah.
Come on.
Turkey season, it's
They
amazing
know.
how
They
close
know,
they'll get.
Yeah. I've seen this weird, what we think is a fisher while I was out fall turkey hunting.
Yeah,
I heard they
We
could
saw
be
one of them out pheasant.
aggressive.
certainly did.
Yeah. I didn't know what it was because it was like, okay, it's not quite a fox, but it's not like.
When
Was it-
Lacey
was it
comes,
dark
I don't
brown?
know. It was very dark
Yeah.
color, yeah, but it had like a bushy tail, and it
Yeah.
was too short to the ground to be a fox.
And like hobbled.
Yeah, it's like, what is it doing?
I've seen them up there before.
Yeah.
One of the greatest things for me is to have Lacey come home from hunting and listen to her stories, because when she is out of the woods and in that element of, her stories are so animated and alive.
And
And she's like, these damn deer. She's like, you should see it. The deer mafia were up there protecting the turkeys again.
Okay. Yeah.
She's like, and I saw this great big thing. I thought it was a wolf.
Yeah.
I'm totally behind you on that catfish. I think last week I pretty much professed my love of podcasting over shooting, and that is why I like podcasting outdoors, is the stories that go along with it. And harkening back to being a small kid around the table eating quail and hearing about the hunt. I mean, that's.
And I'm very proud of
Yeah.
the fact that my wife has gone full circle from, I don't eat deer meat, I won't eat that, I don't want to see it, to, like, why are you not out of bed? You're going to
let's
make
go.
me late. Like, and getting, like, out of the truck, she's, like, standing there fully dressed, ready, with her arms crossed, going, like, I'll meet you down there.
For once,
Yeah.
you're the one putting the makeup on. In the
Oh, no,
mirror.
I definitely make her late turkey hunting, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
No, turkey hunting, like, I am not a morning person. I despise having to get up for work in the morning. But 3 o'clock turkey season,
It's
I'm
easy.
up. I'm doing the makeup because you got to look good for the pictures.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
I don't wear makeup to work and all
She didn't
usually,
learn that
but
from
I am
me.
wearing makeup in the field to get my pictures done. Flat iron the hair, get all your gear, get down. I like to eat my breakfast on the way there. And then usually I jam out to, I'll admit it, I love some Tay-Tay on my way to turkey hunt.
Taylor Swift.
Some Backstreet Boys.
It's not my favorite.
It's my jams. I would like. yes.
Mind you, we ride together to turkey hunt.
So you got to get in the mood. Like,
Is that why you have earbuds?
some Britney,
But this time of year, it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I mean, it's been a long journey for us, from the point of making mistakes and learning. And I mean, we have dozens and dozens of epic turkey stories. But to hear this time of year, like in the loft of my house, I'll come upstairs from the garage, whether it be grease or fish or whatever, washing my hands, going, like looking up into the loft, hearing turkey calls, going, It must be April. Yeah. She's getting everything ready. Like right now, all her stuff is packed meticulously in the corner of our bedroom.
Yeah.
It's
All
been
the
ready to go
calls.
for 3 weeks.
Everything's ready. And that's like, the more time you spend in the woods, the more experiences you have. You have to make mistakes to learn. Like, when we started turkey hunting, you didn't hear the turkey gobble back. You got up and moved. Well, now it's like, no, you got to be patient. We're going to sit here for an hour before we decide to do anything.
Well, that's because we knew where they were roosted, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I see, like, as the years kind of go by, and I don't know. you don't require a lot. Like you have exactly what you need, and I don't know how you.
She packs light.
I do. I have a lot of caws. I will say my turkey vest is full of caws. I am a big fan of friction caws.
Yeah.
I love my slate caws. I love my glass caws. I love my push box caws. I do have some box caws. I'll use those. Those are good for really loud, aggressive calling. If you need to be loud and aggressive, the box caw is my favorite. The push button call. I have one that actually attaches right to your shotgun, and you can pull the little string, so you can get it real close like that. Yeah, I love the slate claws for the friction. No, that is one call I absolutely will not use. No mouth claws.
We had this discussion.
Can't do it.
Go ahead and tell them why, but you're setting yourself up.
I have very easy gag reflex, and that in my mouth, I'm like, bleh.
You can't tell it to 7 guys sitting around a podcast table.
Can't do it. Can't.
Thanks for the pat on the
Well, I
no.
In the full disclosure, I too have a.
Thank you. And
I can't use this thing.
No, I can't. And it's weird because I played a woodwind instrument in school, but I can't handle it.
Here, in a mouth call is extremely hard to use. I mean, even
that's what I was gonna.
It's hard to use. I'm okay with it after all these years, but I'm a slate guy.
Yeah.
And which is one thing she mentioned earlier. Not many people have an aluminum striker call.
Yeah, that's the first I've heard of slate, and I've heard of glass.
That's my.
Why would you use an aluminum?
Don't matter if it gets wet or not.
Yeah.
You can use it underwater.
Slate, you don't want to. You don't want to get your slate wet. But I have
water pheasants.
I have beautiful caws. I had caws. I had 2 made specifically for me to my taste. I met a gentleman at the Sportsman Show, and he hooked me up really, really well.
You can give him a shout out. He's a nice guy.
Beautiful pink slate call with a beautiful pink striker.
Who made that?
Gold National Wildlife Turkey Federation emblem.
Is that John?
And my glass one is purple. Rex Ruths. Mr. Rex Ruths.
Okay, all right.
Awesome
made them
guy.
special for me. So,
wow.
Yeah, they're my favorite. They're my prize turkey caws, so I keep
They're
them
beautiful,
safe.
and it's she talked him into the colors.
Yes, because I met him at the Sportsman Show, and he's like, well, why didn't you come to our booth? I'm like, you don't have any pink caws. The duck people over there got pink caws. Well, if I made you pink caw, would you come to the booth? Yep. And the next year, he had my pink caw.
Lucas Brazilius out of Lithuania. Did you hear that? Pink is hot with the ladies.
I tried to tell him. He's like, pink what?
Yep, I hope he's listening.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to defer to that, but we were trying to sell a pink deeper.
There's the classic misconception of people that think that all girls have pink bows and pink gloves and blah, blah, blah. They want to be a cute hunter. Lacey has everything pink. And she's a stone cold killer.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Just because she's holding a pink turkey call don't mean that bird ain't going to get one in the face.
Exactly.
He's going down. And she is so excited that she is running over, grabbing a hold of that thing before it's done flogging. I'm like, you do know you're getting beat to death by its wings, and she don't care.
Yeah.
She's carrying it out of the woods, and it's still flapping. So
Absolutely.
You said that you deer hunt now. Mm-hmm. Do you hunt any? Do you still pheasant hunt? Do you hunt it? Do you hunt anything else now? Or?
I still pheasant hunt. I love bird hunting. Deer hunting, I've gotten into that. I don't archery hunt yet, just because I feel like I'm not quite there yet with the bow. Like, I'm pretty good,
feeling.
but I just want to be spot on before I go shooting something with a bow.
I know the feeling.
And actually, before I ever bow deer hunt, I want to get a turkey with a bow. That's
cool.
more up there than on the deer list.
And we're on schedule for that. Lacey's constantly pushing herself, to be better turkey hunter. She's got a few deer with a rifle, but soon it'll be with the bow.
My goal is the opposite: get the bigger target with that meat missile first, and then go after that smaller little turkey. I commit. Total respect and props for you for going after that Thunderbird.
Yeah,
she's like a
a
tattoo artist that only tattoos skulls, but he's the best skull tattooer on the planet. Yeah, like I want to hunt turkeys. I'll go pheasant hunting with you. I'll go deer hunting with you. But turkey season, it's a whole different look in her eyes. Yeah.
But one thing, I've never waterfowl hunted, so Mr. Sammy, the general, is
she bought some stuff.
Take me
more
to
than welcome.
Waterfowl
She bought some camo this year. Yeah.
You have to put up hay in the summertime.
I will.
That's all right.
That's right. I'll throw your hay up for you.
I will attempt goose hunting, but I am going out in early season where it's not frigid and snowing because I don't like cold either.
We might need you because last year Phil got some heart palpitations.
I felt I fell through the hayloft too.
And you broke a tractor, right?
I survived the tractor. I mean,
we might have to call you at some point. Like, I mean, I know these guys are being really nice and saying, "Yeah, we'll do that for you," but it just might be you and me one time.
Do it. Now, like I said, early season, I'm not a fan of the cold. That's why I like turkey hunting, because it's not cold out. The only bad thing about turkey hunting, though, which is my kryptonite, I am deathly terrified of snakes. Can't see them on TV. Can't go into that part of the zoo.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Hate them.
I'm right there with you.
I was setting up to turkey hunt one day, and this was a day where we were on opposite sides of the property. And I put my decoy out, getting everything set up just right. Turn around, had all my stuff laid out. I had this big giant tree that was down. I was going to use it as like a backrest to break my shadows up. Sat down, went to put my head back against the tree stump. Big 6-foot black snake right where my head would have been laying.
I'd have died.
Yep. Left everything, gun and everything. Left it there, gone, other side of the property. Disappeared without a trace. He comes up, he's like...
I come up and I saw all her stuff there. I went, where the hell did she go?
I'd have done the same thing. I'd have been like Cam on Modern.
I don't deal with snakes.
I didn't believe it. I didn't believe anything. I go up there and she's like, "Oh, there's an anaconda down there. I'm not going down. There's an anaconda." She's like, "It's like 25 feet long. It must weigh 2,000 pounds." I'm like, "Whatever." I'm like, "Come on, let's go look." And I like drag her back down to the woods, and I'm like, I walk around the corner, and she's like 20 feet away. She's like, "No, I'm not going down." Sure enough, it was there sunning itself. It was a massive black snake.
Oh my goodness!
And actually, when the R2 group went out hunting when we were in the state forest, there was a snake, and I was gone. That. Gone.
Yep. The one I threw at the camera?
Yeah. I remember that.
Peacing out. Sorry about your luck, guys. I'll see you at the truck.
That was a little guy.
I don't care. I don't care how small they are. It's disgusting. That's going to be the big problem for my Grand Slam, too, because the Osceola turkeys, they're in the swamps of Florida, and there's lots of snakes down there. So that'll probably be the last one I ever do with the Grand Slam.
That could be a thing, Miss Lacey's snake repellent.
Yeah. Hate them.
I think we had to get down there and get that turkey taken care of.
Yeah, we got to get the Florida one done.
You need to get Catfish to buy you a judge so you can carry around that judge with the 410 shot in there to be your snake gun.
Well, here's a funny story about shotguns in Lacey. In turkey season, yes, but we do some home defense training at the house for when I'm not there, and we do have a loft and a very long catwalk to go in straight to our bedroom. And we've done, like, from dead sleep, "Hey, get up," and I tell her, "Get up," you know what to do. She rolls off the bed, grabs her shotgun, kneels down beside the bed, loads it, gets it pointed at the door. She has a certain time frame to do it. She has explicit things to say. They're very minimal, and then you take care of whatever you need to take care of. There's a safe word. A few years back when I was in my...
I pooped my pants. That's a safe word.
I come in a little late a few years back in my drinking days, and I had a box of 20 chicken nuggets at like 3:30 in the morning, stuffed in my face. I come up the side steps of the loft and was coming down, and I heard...
Clickety-clack.
I heard, "One more step and you're dead." And who are you, and what I say? Who are you, and what's the safe word? And I was like, what? I had all these chicken nuggets shoved in my mouth.
Oh, man.
I remember, like, in my head going, shit, I think I'm on count to 3, like on 3 of 5. And I just remember hitting the deck and chicken nuggets were rolling off, landing in the living room. And I was waiting for that door to get a hole blown through it. And I was trying to yell. I was spitting chicken nuggets everywhere. But I was real proud of her because she did exactly what I trained her to do. I mean, the dogs went nuts and I didn't yell like I normally do. "Honey, I'm home." I was too busy eating chicken nuggets, and I heard "You're going to die on another step. What's the safe word?"
It's kind of like the old Pink Panther movies when he comes home and what is that? His helper guy, the butler guy, they always attack each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was fun.
Holy
cow.
I missed it. I don't remember that. But
Oh, it was horrible.
So, Lacey, what's your favorite way to cook a wild turkey?
I am a big fan of brining. I love to brine.
oh, it's Uncle Buck's camp.
Look at Phil's eyes just lit up.
I will do a 3-day brine.
It's my girl.
Fist bump. I like to do mine in orange juice, and I'll put bay leaves in there, a little bit of salt, a whole different seasoning mixture. Do
You're
it for
brining
3
the whole
days.
bird?
Whole bird. And then I will cook it in one of those oven bags. Do like a nice slow cook on it in the oven. It's pretty tasty.
Sounds delicious.
Juicy. I like to, before you put it in the oven, of course, cover, butter's so healthy, but, you gotta have the butter. So
What do you mean the whole bird?
Like you're just breasting it out, or
No.
Spatchcock?
are you
No,
spatchcocking it?
No, whole bird. And I do love to shove up in the bird. I'll do oranges and apples, lemons, limes.
That actually does do a nice job.
Yeah.
Let me know when you do it. I want to come over and eat some.
Absolutely.
You got about 2 weeks.
And frying. Who doesn't love fried?
Right.
Anything. Fried anything. Deep fried anything. Come on.
Shallow fried. That's what I like.
When she'll do the
We come out with Kentucky Fried Turkey.
There we go. That
There
sounds
you
like
go.
a winner.
yeah. Lacey does the
KFTs.
The
Winner,
pheasants
winner,
like that
turkey
are
dinner.
good.
Yeah.
The brine pheasants are very good too.
And pheasant quesadillas.
Pheasant quesadillas.
See, guys, this is exactly why I said when you asked me what my favorite food was, and I said all of it.
My deeper jersey doesn't fit this tight for no reason.
Exactly.
I gained weight whenever Lacey became a hunter. Yeah.
That's great. That is awesome. Lace, this show is one of my favorites. So
Yeah.
thank you for being here.
There's so much we
Absolutely.
covered in such a short amount
Without
of time.
realizing it.
Without
I mean,
realizing it, yeah. That's
Yeah.
the
We talked
best
about
way
a
to
lot.
do it.
The best way is just to get out there and just, in lack of better terms, wing it if you don't really know.
I see what you did there.
And the more mistakes you make, honestly, the more you're going to learn, and you just learn what to do, what not to do, and a lot of patience.
Yeah.
Well, I'm real proud of you. You've come a long way.
Yeah, they're tricky.
Are you hunting the same land year after year?
No. We do hunt like the same game lands. We'll try different new areas that we haven't hunted before. We used to have a very nice tract of private land where we did a lot of hunting. Unfortunately, the last few years, you're going to get pushed out of it. There's a lot of competition right now. So I'm actually thinking about not even hunting there at all anymore, at least this season.
No,
Maybe in the fall.
I'll go there then.
But Steve was actually looking for exact coordinates. He needs to
I'm,
go
I'm
home.
trying to, kind
Pinpoint.
of, yeah, without really asking.
We do a lot of hunting in the show in places.
The Dillsburg game lands,
Yeah.
right outside Dillsburg, that's my favorite place
Is
to
it?
hunt.
Yeah.
Is it? So do you still go out and scout every year if you're going to hunt the same place? You find you need to do that? So you,
No.
We drive through. We listen.
Yeah.
Morning,
Yeah.
nights, before work. Listen.
I like to have like more of a challenge, so I'm not going to go like track down exactly where. Like I just like to
That's
get
awesome.
up and like just go with it, just like wing it.
But-
Really, like honestly,
It's not that you don't know how. I mean, in the beginning,
No.
we did go out and find roost trees, the rub marks on the roost trees, and the feathers underneath, but it takes a lot of work. It's cool to learn that stuff. It's like I told Lacey before. I want you to learn how to, skin, quarter, butcher your deer. All by yourself doesn't mean I'm going to ask you to do it every time, but knowing how to do it is part of being a sportsman. And she's been really, really amazing at running the grinder and helping me cut steaks, and she's been really good at it lately. So,
Well, she put up with us clowns for how many hours, how many days at the Great American Outdoor Show as well. I mean,
fun.
she's extreme help from me. And you know what? It's very nice lately here in life with all some medical issues. It's nice to have somebody to hunt with that I can. I know she's can't go anywhere. She rode with me, first of all, but she's always there, and she's as worried about me as I am of her. So
Cranking the Taylor Swift.
yeah.
absolutely bad blood.
Tay and turkey hunting.
Tay and turkeys.
That's right, goes together.
How can life get any better?
That's right. You know it.
So we'll have to post some pictures of Lacey's last few hunts, last few birds on our Facebook page. So keep an eye out for those.
What I want to do a big R2 group hunt down for the ocellated turkey in Guatemala.
We are going to Florida
That's what I want to do. We've done Honduras. Let's just move right over into Guatemala.
Yeah, because look how that worked out for you.
Hey,
Well, that's why she wants to pack some more heat. She wants.
I'm going along for this next one.
hey, and Honduras is just a hop, skip, and a jump over Guatemala border. We could stay at the same house.
Hey, Catfish, you're used to pooping outdoors now.
Damn outhouse.
You can stay at the same house and take a scooter into Guatemala.
Take the scooter. It'll be great.
Well, I'm not stopping, so we're going to have to road shoot them from the scooter.
Hey, I talked to a guy, and, the pictures he showed me of this hunting camp are pretty phenomenal.
Is it run by the same people?
Yeah. He's probably got the same photographer as the guy that took the pictures of the old house.
We're going to let Stevie book this hunt, okay?
Oh, my goodness.
Stevie we'll make sure you'll have to vet it. But,
She found it on CRBO. It's Crappy Rentals.
It's hunting rental.
May or may not get shanked in your sleep.
Shady Rentals are us.
Oh, wow.
I love you, babe. Good job.
You make one mistake and you never get to live it down, huh?
I know. And it turned out fine. We had a great trip.
It made for great podcast material.
I carried a lot of weight on my shoulders that week, that's for sure.
Hey, do you know what? I just got an email.
You didn't have to take the scooter cross-line dig through shit. I don't want to hear what you're talking about.
Doing knack-knacks in the pothole.
I just got an email a couple of days ago, 20% off booking for a return trip to Roatan.
Oh,
It's worth it.
Can't wait. I would like the R2 gang to go to Honduras. You would like it there. It is very when you can snorkel 50, 60 yards from the beach and see leopard rays and barracuda, tarpon and stuff. It's just awesome.
You had me sold on going down there to fish because of the very fact that you don't have to ride in a boat for miles out.
And there's no waves. It's for all intents and purposes a slightly less wavy than when I fell off the kayak.
Right?
I'm just curious what 20% off of I will never do that again.
Yeah.
No, but the email was for the resort, not Crack Beach.
Oh, that's good.
So we can go to the resort.
I miss Crack Beach.
Hey.
I bet.
Yeah.
With a side of syringe.
Yeah.
Razor blade.
You know what's funny? I watch all these Caribbean Life and House Hunter International shows. Every time Roatan's on, the person always buys in Crack Beach. I'm like, no.
Oh yeah, she's screaming at the TV. She's like, "Do you see that surf shop? The one that's closed down? That was right next to Casa Argenta." She's like, "Don't buy it. They're lying to you."
It's a lie. They have razor grass.
My husband's feet were bleeding.
And you have no cesspool. It's just a hole underneath there.
Yeah, oh my God, it was.
I get so worked up.
You need a weed eater just to swim.
We could just do it. You got to come back and we'll do a whole, just more details on the R2 vacation because there were so many looks that I gave her that week. When a house is on stilts and you like
the look you should have given her was there was a dude outside of our place. We're leaving.
Yeah.
I
was naked and enjoying my vacation.
And afraid, I bet.
Leanna would know that look. Like, okay, I get it. There was a dude out there. We're out. We're going fishing with Tyler Dunn.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm off of that island.
Ontario now.
I loved it. I can still hear it in my head when the lady left and we walked over around this. It's not that bad. And yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yes.
I took a crap and it went right straight through a hole and landed in the sand underneath the house. Yes, it's that bad.
I can't even conjure up that sound in my head. No.
He's got diva demands here.
Nah, you're right. Turkey season is upon us, you guys.
What were we talking about?
Just like that fecal matter on the rock.
All right.
Well, we will go back to Roatan and
was there a Burger King down there?
No.
So you didn't have an opportunity to leave a Whopper Plopper?
Bojangles.
There's the Bojangles.
Wait, what? Okay.
What's wrong with you guys?
We will go back and we will use the funnel technique that we have developed over the years on funneling the people that broke into the house, and we will catch them this time. We take all the game cameras from all the R2 guys and set a trap. And I know he'll come back. All we have to do is put GoPros on our head and go to sleep. They'll come back. I think that's what they were after, the camera equipment. Yeah.
I think you should just skip it, bud, and go straight to the resort.
If nothing else, we can go down and just beat the hell out of a bunch of scooters, because that was fun.
Awesome. Well, Lace, again, just thank you so much for gracing us at the podcast and your knowledge of turkey hunting. I just appreciate it. And again, I was fortunate enough to get a couple of those calls with the first turkey and the one where you shot one the first time you were out by yourself and Catfish was at work, and I was getting calls while you were out in the woods and he wasn't, and yeah, I mean, just being a part of that, thank you so much, and including the R2 guys.
Liars. Every last one of you. No, turkey season's coming up. Yeah, I appreciate it too, Lacey.
We're excited.
I love you. It's good hunting with you.
It's almost like the UFC. It's time.
It is. Maybe in the beginning of the next podcast, maybe we'll just go into the 5 or 6 different toms that were yelling at me, you, and Lace when we were trying to do the audio recording that time. They were like 100 yards from us, and they were all screaming at once.
We got to a point where we played a game like who could not sound like a turkey, and have them gobble.
Make the most atrocious, awful turkey call sound you can make.
You know that thing that kids play with, the little metal thing, and you spin it and it makes that obnoxious noise back in the day? If you had one of those, they would gobble it.
They would gobble, yeah.
Is that the same one where you...
We were like slamming the camera lens shut, and clack, and they would gobble at it.
You were like hugging...
That was him.
A turkey.
That was him.
You were hugging one. We recorded you
the same day
talking about same
we
day. Should repost
they like
that.
walked
that
right up in the blind. We didn't even shoot them.
Yeah. Wow.
All right.
Well, thanks again, Lacey. We definitely all had a great time tonight. And I would actually like to take an opportunity here to thank all of the other organizations and the individuals that have chosen Rut and River Pursuit podcast for their advertising needs.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to make sure everybody out there gives all those folks an opportunity to listen to them and give them your business. They're all good people. So the other thing to mention here is if you are interested at all in advertising with us on our podcast, make sure you contact us through the website at www.rutandriverpursuits.com. We offer very reasonable weekly and monthly rates, and we can discuss even dedicating an entire podcast to you. So
right on.
Make sure you give us a buzz.
Get you some.
Where can they find us, though, everybody else is interested just in listening to it?
Probably like a similar place, www.rutandriverpursuits.com.
I've heard that recently.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
iTunes,
and Google Play.
Stitcher, CastBox.
We're kind of everywhere.
We're actually like we're worldwide right now.
Yeah,
we're international.
And make sure you catch Stevie on Instagram,
please.
At Steve Meiser, all one word, MEICR.
All one word.
Mm-hmm. And I also like to go to R2 Buck on the Instagram because he's been keeping it real himself.
Killing it.
I can't keep up.
It's hard to, right?
I can't keep up.
I'm a diva. I'm an outdoor diva.
Soon, Ryan.
Wait, what?
We keep this up. Soon, Ryan's going to way bypass you guys with all the pictures from his kayak fishing he's going to post.
At Pass Through Archery.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Lacey, thank you.
Thanks, Lacey.
Thanks for listening to the Rut and River Pursuits podcast. Follow the R2 Pro staff by searching Rut and River Pursuits on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Until the next episode, we need to see you in the outdoors.